What's going on, guys? How you doing? This is TK coming at you, and I wanted to hit you guys with a little bit of financial information. Most of us, I'm gonna include myself in this group, but most of us only know debt instruments as money. Doesn't matter who you talk to, the only thing you know is debt. You're either in debt, you're controlled by debt, or you're a slave to debt. And that usually extends until you die. So it doesn't matter who I enter a conversation with. When it comes to money, the only thing that they talk about, or the only thing that you know, the only reference point that you have in your life is paper instruments issued by the government. But there's some primary functions or built-in inherent problems within paper money that people just deal with. They say, well, there's nothing else, so we just deal with it. When the truth is, there is something else, and there's a group of people who play by a different set of rules. Because there are people who are not controlled like the sheep. You know, there are some 1%ers that sit atop of everybody else, and they're like the owner, and you're like the dog, and they just sit and laugh at you as you run around the rat maze, you know, or you're the rat in the maze, and they sit above and laugh at you as you wander through them. So people have to make a choice. You know, behavioral patterns are predictable because most humans do the same thing on the same schedule, and they fall into a comfort zone and refuse to do anything outside of that comfort zone. So those patterns can be not only watched, tracked, but predicted. And then your interface to, let's say, the world, your interface to the world can also be monitored, watched, tracked. So what I always try to get people to do is exit the rat race by making different decisions. But the concept of making different decisions is a very hard thing to explain, or at least very hard to get people to accept. Because honestly, that's not what happens in the normal course of dialogue. You know, new things aren't accepted, and individual choices are not made. But that's still an encouragement point, because you should want solutions that open new doors for you in your life and your future. So getting back to paper has some built-in problems. The first problem within paper, and that's the only money that you know, but the first problem is paper itself is built out of debt. And the issuance of paper continues to expand debt. So essentially, as paper debt expands, the purchasing power of the paper that you hold lessens over time. So your money in your pocket is not able to buy as much as you want it to buy, or as much as you need it to buy. So that's an inherent problem in paper. The more it's printed, the more money that's put in circulation, the more the existing money in people's pockets has no purchasing power, or has less purchasing power. So that affects you on an individual level, because you can't buy the things that you want or the things that you need in your individual household. So that's just one of the problems in paper. We have fiscal irresponsibility from the government. We have negative monetary policies from the people who control money. And then you have currency wars within central banks, and you also have a evolving debt crisis that is creating an unstable environment for pretty much all participants. So now that you understand that, now that you can see that, it should give you a reason, a fire, an essence to want to change, and a motivation to look for an alternative to paper money. So why is it that no one wants to find an alternative? Why is it that no one is willing to accept something outside of debt instruments? You know, the promissory note from the government built out of debt, perpetuated in debt, and you're not willing to look for something other than that that's more valuable and gives you more security. So why is it people don't look at gold as money, don't look at silver as money? And in a digital world or digital transaction, decentralized sovereign money plays a more important role because of the fact that it empowers you. So let's talk about decentralized sovereign currency and how it empowers you. If you think about the fact that a transaction from you to me can happen without someone's permission, or more importantly, without someone charging a fee as I transfer money from me to you. How about not being limited in the amount that I send from me to you, whether it be 1 cent or $100,000? That's totally controlled, dictated by me, not by a central authority that I have to ask or beg permission. That's the most powerful reason that I can simply explain decentralized sovereign currency and why you should want it, why you should use it. So Bitcoin gives you that opportunity. And a lot of people don't understand Bitcoin, don't know what a Bitcoin is. But that's the simple way that I can explain it, and hopefully a way in which makes sense to you. Because Bitcoin, gold, and silver are alternatives to the fiat currency problems and the fiscal cliff that is not only guaranteed to be a part of the future, but escalating in, I guess, negativity, because, you know, nothing is changing. Nothing in terms of fixing a problem is changing. So the only thing that you can do is change for yourself, make some different decisions, and hopefully include some of the things I talk about in your planning or in your financial planning. So you have Bitcoin, you have decentralization, you have gold grams and silver grams. Because usually when people think about gold and silver and metals as a form of money, they equate price and then justify non-participation through affordability. But if you take silver and gold and you break it to its smallest form, which is a gram, then it becomes affordable. So if you participate in a platform that allows you to have a digital representation of a gold gram and a silver gram, and then a physical deposit in a vault that's offshore, then you're winning, because you have small denominations of gold and silver, and you have Bitcoin, and you have all of that from one account and it's manageable the same way you manage your bank account. So I hope I presented some solutions, and I hope I've shown you that there is something outside of paper money. Fiat currency is the only thing people know, the only thing people talk about, but it's not the only thing in terms of creating financial insurance for your future, for your family, and for your life.